What areas of Jewish learning outside of proper halakha and application do you feel get neglected? For example, I've often felt Tanach education gets neglected once people start learning Gemara. Are there any areas you think Jews really neglect that we should be focusing on? Well, I think Tanach is the great one. You mentioned Tanach. I believe, my opinion, the reason why is that Tanach was studied. My grandfather knew Tanach by heart, both of them. My grandmother, who didn't know how to read and write, in Yemen, her father was a rabbi. But they didn't let her study Torah because it was against the law. Not like against Jewish law, against the law. So when she was a little girl, she would hide in the closet in his classroom. Like a one-room classroom. It was a mori. And she memorized Tanakh, because in Yemen they taught even the kids to memorize Tanakh. And when she came to Israel, at the age of 50, once all her kids had left the house, she went to Ulpan. And she learned how to read and write the letters she never knew how to read and write before. I remember when I was a kid, before she knew how to read and write, I'd read Chumash with my grandfather, and she'd correct us. She was frying in the kitchen, she'd correct us. She knew Tanakh by heart, from Bereshit until the end of the Nevi'im and Ketuvim. And her letter that she wrote to my father, Arurat Teman, cursed is Yemen, that didn't teach her children Torah. Tanakh. Tanakh, though, my grandfather used to introduce me. Here's the Rabbi Yonatan, my grandson, he's going to give a drasha in my synagogue, but he doesn't know Tanakh by heart. Chatati, aviti, pashanti. Okay. But Tanakh stopped being studied in countries where the lifestyle doesn't fit Tanakh. In the current Orthodox community, the Judaism of the Tanakh is not the Judaism that they live. And because of that, studying Tanakh leads to tremendous challenges, because how do you explain to people things that are written in the Tanakh when we don't do that? It's our minhag not to do like that. David HaMelech, so many wives, what do you mean? How do you explain that to somebody when you told him all kinds of interesting things that happen? The Tanakh has its own challenges without creating new ones. And I believe that in countries and places and in Jewish communities where the lifestyle is not organic, it's not living Tanakh, it's very difficult to study Tanakh, which is why they choose to focus on how many cups of hot water do I put tea bags in, because that's more relevant. It also inspires the next generation to be Jewish. But I think the other one is Limud Lashon HaKodesh, learning Hebrew. Learning Hebrew. Mishnah Avot, chapter 2, Mishnah 4 says that you should be careful with the light mitzvah like a heavy mitzvah. Rambam over there in his commentary says, like you should be happy on the holiday, like Pesach, Simchat HaRegel, or any other holiday. Also, you have to learn Lashon HaKodesh. It's a mitzvah. And he quotes that from the Sifri in Parshat Ekev. I'm not here, listen, I know many Jews that don't speak Hebrew, don't know Hebrew well enough, but I'm not here to say anything about them. Rather, what I'm sharing is, imagine if we focused all that energy that we put into scrubbing the floor for Pesach and repainting the ceilings for Pesach. Imagine if we spent time teaching the Jewish community Hebrew. If the Hebrew class in the Jewish day schools wasn't a mockery, how is it that 12 years of Jewish education, a kid comes out, Shalom, Mashlumcha? Doesn't know. I'm not talking about those who came to their observance later in life, or now they're in their 40s or 50s or 60s, and I'm not asking you to learn a new language. The children, you have grandchildren. Hebrew. Do you know what it means to a child when you give them the gift to access their national texts? That every Israeli child can open up a Shulchan Aruch and understand 99% of what's written there? But an American child who goes to Jewish school that you pay $25,000 a year for, they can't read Shulchan Aruch in Hebrew? I'm like I'm saying, I'm encouraging. I'm not critiquing. I'm encouraging. I'm encouraging that there should be dedication to the study of the Hebrew language on Israel.